All right, today we're going to be completing the Unit 4 study guide. On your study guide, whatever I have crossed off on mine should also be crossed off on yours. But if it's not, just make sure to cross it off because those types of questions will not be on your test. So I didn't want to add them on here to confuse you even more. So number 1 is crossed off, so we're going to be starting on number 2. The Venn diagram below shows the number of Boy Scouts in a certain troop who have earned the following merit badges: camping, swimming, and first aid. So looking at the first part, A, how many Boy Scouts have a first aid badge? So that means I want to know the total number of boys that are in my first aid circle. Okay, so if we add those up, 6 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5, that gives me a total of 16 people. All right. Part B, how many Boy Scouts have a camping badge or a swimming badge? So that means I want the total of students in my camping and swimming circles. Okay, so that's 10 plus 4 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3 plus 7. That gives me a total of 32 Boy Scouts. All right, part C, how many Boy Scouts have a camping badge and a first aid badge? So camping and first aid. All right, so since it says and, I only want where our two circles are overlapping, which is 6 plus 2, which gives us 8. Part D, how many Boy Scouts have a swimming badge but do not have a first aid badge? So I'm looking in my swimming badge circle, and I'm going to cross off the ones that are in the first aid circle. Okay, so that leaves me with 4 plus 7, which gives me 11. Part E, how many Boy Scouts do not have a camping badge? So here's my camping badge. So I want to add up all the numbers that are not in that highlighted circle. So 7 plus 3 plus 5 plus 2 gives me 17. All right, the last part, how many Boy Scouts are in the troop? So I'm going to add up all of the numbers, even this 2 out here. Okay, so 2 plus 10 plus 6 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 3 plus 5. That gives me a total of 39 Boy Scouts. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3, okay, and remember, I only do half of the ones on the study guide, so you can go back and do the other half. So all the ones that have a highlighted number are the ones that we're going to be doing. So guests at a wedding have an appetizer choice between super salad, an entree choice of chicken, steak, or vegetarian, and then a dessert choice of vanilla or chocolate cake. How many different meals do we have? So we're using the fundamental counting principle, which means I'm just multiplying my number of outcomes together. So 2, we have super salad for appetizers, so that's 2. Chicken, steak, or vegetarian, that's 3. And then vanilla or chocolate cake, that's 2. So I'm multiply all those numbers together, and I get 12. All right. Misha's rating in aerobics class, there are 6 categories, and for each category, they can be rated with 4 different stars. How many ways can she rate her class? So I'm not going to do 6 times 4 because that's not what it's asking. There's 4 stars per category, okay? So for my first category, that's 4 options. My second category, that's 4 options. My third, that's 4 options. My fourth, that's 4 options. My fifth and my sixth also have 4 options. So I'm going to and that can also be written as 4 to the 6th power. I'm going to type that in my calculator, and that gives me 4,096. All right, let's flip over to the next page. All right, next we're using probability of single events. So if a letter from the word mathematician is chosen at random, what's the probability it is a vowel? So looking at mathematician, we have A, E, A, I, and A. So that's a total of 6 vowels in the word mathematician, and there's a total of 13 letters. And they want us to show this as a fraction in simplest form, a decimal, and a percent. So let's check to make sure our fraction is simplified, and it is. So now to do the decimal, I do 6 divided by 13, which gives me 0.462. And then I multiply that decimal by 100, and that gives me 46.2%. All right, number 9, if a card is selected at random from a standard deck, what is the probability it is a face card or an 8? All right, so remember face cards are King, Queen, Jack. So there's 3 of those in each suit, and there's 4 suits, so that's a total of 12 face cards. And then there's 1 8 in each suit, and there's a total of 4 suits. So that adds up to be 16 out of 52 cards. All right, let's simplify the fraction. That's 4 over 13, which is 0.308 as a decimal. Which is 30.8%. All right, number 11, they don't give you the Venn diagram, so I have drawn it for you. So it says there's 125 students enrolled in a dance studio. 96 take ballet, 50 take jazz. Of those that take ballet, 28 also take jazz. So there's 125 total, and then I've written out the Venn diagram for you. So let's answer 12. If a dance student is chosen at random, find each probability, give each answer as a fraction in simplest form. So ballet or jazz, so that means everything in ballet and everything in jazz. There's also a 7 out here. So I'm going to add up 68 plus 28 plus 22, and that gives me 118 over our 125 total, which is in simplest form. All right, part B, the probability they're in ballet, but do not do jazz. So ballet, but they don't do jazz, so I'm not going to count that 28. So that would be 68 over 125, which is already in simplest form. Part C, probability that they're neither in ballet nor jazz. So that would be these 7 students that are over here, and that would be 7 out of 125. All right, 13, 14, 15, and 16 should be marked off. So let's flip over to the last page. Or no, the third page. I'm getting ahead of myself. Number 17, each spinner below is spun once. Find the probability of each event. So this is compound events, so we have 2 different things occurring. So if they're not related, we just multiply the probabilities to each other. So the probability of spinning blue, then even. So on my spinner, I have 1, 2, 3 sections that are blue out of 8 sections. And then on my other spinner, I want to spin an even number. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's 5 out of the 10 regions. So when I multiply those two fractions together, I get 3 over 16. All right, part B, the probability of spinning not red. So all of those regions are not red, so that is 7 out of my 8 regions. And then we want to spin a number that's less than 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's 6 out of our 10 regions. So I multiply those two fractions together and I get 21 over 40. All right, part C, the probability of spinning green. So there are 1, 2 regions on that spinner that are green out of 8 total regions. And then we want a number that's at least 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 8 out of my 10 regions. So then this will simplify to 1 over 5 if I put it in my calculator. All right, number 19. A coin is tossed 4 times. What is the probability of getting tails each time? So I toss it the first time. That has a 1 out of 2 chance of landing on tails. I toss it again. That also has a 1 out of 2 chance of landing on tails. I toss it a third time, and then I toss it a fourth time. So when I multiply 1/2 together 4 times, I get 1 over 16. All right, 21. A card is chosen from a standard deck, not replaced. That's really important to remember. Then another card is chosen. What's the probability that both cards are spades? So spades is a suit, and there are 13 cards in each suit. So the first time I'm drawing a card, there's a total of 13 spades in that deck out of 52. All right, so I draw a spade, I lay it off to the side, I'm going in to draw another spade. Now there's only 12 spades left because I just drew one of them, and I only have 51 cards left because I did not put that spade back. That's why I said this not replaced is super important. So when I multiply those two fractions together, I get 1 out of 17. All right, coming down to 24. A letter in the grid below is chosen at random. What is the probability that the letter is in the word basketball, given that it landed on a shaded region? So we have our given that. So that means my total of shaded regions is going to go on the bottom. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then I want to choose a letter from the word basketball. A, B, S. All right, so we have A, B, and S. All right, but you have to account for how many of those letters are repeated in basketball. So there's 2 B's, there's 2 A's, and there's 1 S. So that adds up to be a total of 5 letters are in the shaded region of that grid. So then when I simplify that, that gives me 1 over 3. There's a very similar one to your test like this, so just so you know to keep an eye out for that. All right, now on to the last page. So 25 and 26 should be marked out. I forgot to draw your Venn diagram here, so go ahead and draw the Venn diagram for this one. All right, I'm not going to answer the question because I've done the other two Venn diagram ones with you, so I want you to try this one on your own. But that is the Venn diagram. All right, we also just went over two-way tables, so I'm going to leave this one blank as well. But if you do have questions on it, go back and watch the two-way table videos that I had posted in that Schoology post, or ask a friend, or you can even shoot me an email if you are really confused.